Hi everyone, good morning all. Guys, today we are going to discuss Spring Boot features. In the last session, we discussed about completely what is Spring Boot. Okay, today is the last day for demo sessions. Okay, if anyone want to join in this course, if anyone want to continue Java full stack real time project development, okay, you should watch these videos. Okay, these videos already available in our YouTube channel. Okay, this is our Java Express. Okay, just click on the playlist. So whoever want to continue in the current batch, okay, you guys mandatory should complete these videos first, guys. Day one, it is mandatory course. Why? Because complete course content we explain how we can complete our course in 40 days training, and then basics about Spring framework. Why? Because to start with the Spring Boot, you should have a Spring framework knowledge. So Spring framework introduction and Spring framework examples we discussed. In the last session, we discussed about the Spring Boot introduction. I am continuing for the same today, like Spring Boot features here. Hope you guys are clear this playlist. And this is our Telegram group. Who are completely new, if you join in this Telegram group, all the updates you will get. If any courses we started, it will be useful for your future purpose as well. And with our admin contact details, so this is our admin contact number and email ID. Please make a note if you are enrolling in this course here, guys. Okay, so quickly let me start with our Spring Boot features. Before starting, let me open our course content one more time. Give me a minute, let me open our document. Yeah, as part of full stack and real time project with the AWS DevOps training. As we see, these are the modules are included. Out of that, the first part what we started is overview of Spring framework. Already we completed like a IOC container, okay, Spring basics, okay, and dependency injection will taken care by as part of the Spring Boot. Don't worry. So overview of Spring framework is completed in the last couple of sessions here. Okay, and then what is a Spring Boot and the key features we are going to discuss today. Benefits, advantages already we done. Setup environment is also completed here, guys. I mean to say, STS setup, okay, Maven anyway we are trying to understand once we create a simple project. Spring initializer and project creation. By today session, a couple of things will be covered as part of in this module here. Why? Because everything is linked to Spring Boot features only. So let me start quickly for this slide. Okay, let me open. Yeah. So to start with, okay, Spring Boot already you aware what is Spring Boot, what are the goals and advantages, how it is working. In yesterday session development environment we discussed here. Okay, now today let me continue features of the Spring Boot here. Okay, now what are the features are available means, the first one called Spring Boot starters, embedded servers, embedded databases, actuators, and auto configuration. These are the important features or advantages or characteristics. They can ask a question in any approach, but end of the day in the Spring Boot main concepts are these four topics only, guys. Coming to the Spring Boot here, we have other things also there, but the main important points here, these are the things. Now we'll discuss individual part, starters, servers, databases. Now let me start with our starters here first, and then we'll jump into servers. Why? Because as part of starter, servers also will come to the picture. Okay, now before doing that, let me open my workspace parallelly. Why? Because it is taking some time to us. So let me open the desktop. Okay, I have an icon, STS icon. Let me open our STS as well, so that it will be easy to start with our application development. So parallelly just I am opening here. Okay, I am using the old version STS only. Why? Because everywhere I am using the same pattern. Already we know how to create a shortcut for STS in the desktop. In the last session we completed already. Okay, now first concept called Spring Boot Starter. What does it mean? Why we need? Basically, in our projects, handling dependency management by using Maven. Okay, it's kind of a project object model, POM, pom.xml file. Handling dependencies is a difficult task for the big projects. For enterprise level projects, larger projects, handling these dependencies is a difficult. For example, yeah, in the last session, okay, we discussed about couple of dependencies. See, Spring framework, when you are creating a project manually, we should add Spring context module. We added for standalone application. Think like a you are communicating web application, we need to add Spring JDBC, Spring WebMVC, Spring, yeah, WebMVC. These are the modules. See here, context, core, transaction, JDBC, ORM, Hyper. These are all the dependencies I should add in my pom.xml file. This is a difficult task for the bigger projects. To avoid this problem, Spring Boot is giving predefined starters. These starters are sufficient to start standalone application, to start web application, or to start REST API development. So these starters are sufficient, straightforward starters, and also it is very, very easy. These starters, there is a syntax. Okay, while writing, all the starters are starting with spring hyphen boot hyphen starter. This is the starter name. Hyphen star represents, it indicates what kind of application. Now assume that I want to communicate to database. Now you need Hibernate jar files, logging jar files, some JUnit jar files are required. If you add C starter hyphen data hyphen JPA, that's it. Now all the dependencies will be downloaded into your project. That is the advantage of using the starters in our system. Okay, now suppose let me demonstrate. Now this is about a to add your database dependency starter. Okay, now I want to monitor your Spring Boot application. Okay, I want to check health of the Spring Boot application. Then I need to add another starter called starter hyphen actuator dependency. Now this dependency is used to monitor and manage your application. By using the starter, you can able to achieve monitoring purpose. This is one of the starter. Now I want to implement the security. Just you need to add hyphen security dependency. This is authentication and authorization support for our REST API development. This is about here starter security dependency here. And if you want to deploy, if you want to run your application on a web server, Tomcat, some port number, and you want to develop web applications or REST API development, now this is a starter is sufficient. Starter hyphen web dependency. Throughout our all the courses, you will see this is the main starter. If you add hyphen web, automatically all Tomcat dependencies, other Spring WebMVC dependencies, all dependencies included in the web starter here. Okay, now if you want to communicate some embedded databases, okay, now see Spring Boot is providing embedded servers. Now if you see Tomcat, Jetty, and Undertow, these three are the okay embedded Tomcat servers, I mean embedded servers. By default, if you add web dependency, Tomcat will add it as a default web server. If you want to change, yes, by using exclusion tags, we can change for Jetty and Undertow as well also. This is for the embedded servers here. Okay, now you got some idea what are the starters are available. We have another starter called a parent starter. For that, I need to create a fresh project, then you will get some idea. Let me choose a workspace. What is the workspace name? Let me go to 34 full stack and Spring Boot workspace. Let me choose the select the folder and launch icon. Now you got an idea what is a starter high level. Tell me guys, you got some high level information. What is a starter? The first feature starter forms I'm discussing.
Starter means the definition, sir. We can say that.
It is a dependency. It will download transitive dependencies. Anyway, I will be show you. Okay, now tell me, if I want to develop a web application using the Spring framework, how many dependencies I should add here? Almost 7 to 8 libraries or not to deploy our application into a web application, a Tomcat. Again, who asked the question? Again, I'm asking another question. Do we need to add or not?
Yes, yes, yes.
Instead of adding all these dependencies, you can able to add by using single starter. You no need to add all the starters. It will download the remaining starters for you, like starter hyphen web. That's it. This web dependency internally download few more dependencies. That is the advantage of using the starters, Spring Boot starters. Okay, now have a look here. Now what I'm doing, I want to create a fresh project. I don't want to disturb any current project now. Okay, choose Spring Starter project. See, even whenever you are choosing the project structure, you have an option called Spring Boot Starter project, guys. Why it is Spring Starter project? Now have a look here. Now I want to use application as 05. Why? Because 04 is already available. It is imported in IntelliJ in last session, right? How to appear here? That fourth one. See here. File, import, last project. It is a Maven project. Now choose the next option. Choose the browse. Fourth project. Click here and finish it here. That's it. This is for the importing existing project into your workspace. This is, you should aware this one. Why? Because whenever you are downloading some projects in the Google, you should know how to import as well, right? So this is the import, how to import a project into our workspace here. Even sometimes if I share some project to you, you should know how to import as well. So these are the steps: file, import, choose existing Maven project, choose the next option, click your directory. That is sufficient here. Is everyone clear this one? How to import a project?
Yes.
Okay, let me make down those point as well. Now just import Maven project into existing workspace. This is the point just I explained to you. Okay. Now this is done. Okay, now then we'll try to use this one only. Okay, now if you click on pom.xml file, okay, see, right now we are using 3.2.5 is there. Later if required we will degrade the version. Even I not tested on this version, but we'll see, no issues. Now for every pom.xml you have one starter called parent starter. See here, starter hyphen parent. This starter is responsible to take care about your versions, like which type of version I want to download. It will taken care by the starter parent here. Left hand side, if you click Maven dependencies, see in the bottom you are able to see how this know 6.6 I should use. See, 6.1.6, Spring Boot 3.2.5, Starter 3.2.5. And if you go for again another dependency, XML JUnit core, Spring Test, here every dependency has a different kind of versions are available. See, Jakarta annotation API 2.1.1. How this guy know these versions? If you are developing Spring projects, these versions you should take care inside your project. But now taken care by, if you choose the right Spring Boot version, versions will be changed. Now use the control key, click on the starter, click on here. Here you will get to know dependency Spring Boot hyphen dependencies. Again, if you click here, you will get all the versions here. This is called parent pom.xml. These are all called child pom.xml file. It helps to download transitive dependencies into your project. It helps to download transitive dependencies into your system. Now this is the dependencies are available. See here. Now if you are adding suppose web starter, normal starter, data JPS starter, the versions it will pick from in this page. If you change Spring Boot version, these versions also will be changed. It's why because version compatibility taken care by your application. Which kind of dependency I should download? That version, these are all kind compatibility versions here. See if you take about a logback, Lombok version, MariaDB. Okay, just if you add Lombok dependency, it will download this dependency here. Logback version, Log4j version. If you are using any database migration, this is the version it will be used. Like this, all the versions are available. If you take about a Spring, now see here, there is a Spring batch version dot bomb Spring framework version. Are you able to see? Framework 6.1.6, this is the Spring version we are using now. Okay, this is a security. Like this, version taken care by your application based on your parent starter here. Now for every prom.xml file, we have a group ID, artifact ID, version, name, description. These 5 tags will be available for every project. Now if you take our Spring events, it is also following, see, group ID, their organization name, artifact ID, project name. Sorry guys, artifact ID is nothing but project name of the application. Same in our use case, if you see, my com.java express is my group ID, artifact ID is your name of the project. This name is optional. Okay, and this is the version and description here. Here Java version we are maintaining, Java 17 is the minimum JDK version we should use. This is the Java version here. And if you come down, when you create any fresh project, by default it is a standalone application. Inside standalone application, I have a Spring Boot starter. This is called standalone application development. This is starter hyphen test. Again, it will download unit test cases repos. This is dependency is used for writing unit testing. Now, by default, 2 starters are available. Now, on top of that, we can able to add few more starters as well. Now, another one called, you have a plugin in the build management tool. You have a plugin. This plugin is used to generate the jar file for your Spring Boot project. Not only the jar file, you can able to run the application, you can able to generate the your jar file or war file. This plugin will be helpful. This is about the Spring Boot Maven plugin here. This is about importance of your pom.xml file and what are the starters are available. Now in this project, I want to add as a, I want to behave like a web application. Now just observe carefully here. In the Maven dependencies, see here, you are not able to see any web module. See here guys. AOP, bean, boot, context, core, expression, JCL. Okay. Now here I am changing this application into a web application. Hyphen web. That's it. See, just save the application. Automatically, few more dependencies will be downloaded here. Are you able to see here, guys? Spring Web, Spring Web MVC, Tomcat Embedded Core, Tomcat Embedded EL, Tomcat Embedded WebSocket. These 5 dependencies are added when you add as a web starter here. That means this application is a web application. Now, just carefully see, click on application.java, right click and run your application. Now it will run on a some Tomcat port number. You can able to see the difference as well. Now see here. Now if you're able to see the application, started application using Java 17. Tomcat is initialized with port number 8080, starting the Tomcat service. You are able to see initializing Spring embedded web application context. This is your IOC container. In the last session, we discussed about IOC container hierarchy types, right? Now, this is the hierarchy. Web applications is using this IOC container here. Now again, this web application context is a interface. Again, implementations are available. This logic is available under run method logic. The IOC container initialization and Tomcat starting and which port number. All the things taken care by this annotation and this run method. It will taken care here. This is about web dependency here. Now by default deploy. How to access 8080? Now go to the browser. Okay, just hit the URL. Okay, it's a well-known exception 8080. Just enter here. By default you will get 404 unexpected not found white label error page. You will get the exception here. It's a well-known exception. Anyway, as of now, no logic here. Now the same application I want to behave like a database. Now this is a Tomcat. That's okay. Now I want to add as a database. How to add as a database? Embedded database. Now we can add another starter. Now what is a starter name? Okay, data JPA. I don't know which database I am communicating. See, I want to create a fresh project. I will not disturb the current project so that you will get some idea. Before creating new project, stop this application. Okay, now file, new, spring starter project. See from the scratch all the steps. Okay, now here let me make it as a 05. Okay, what are the starters? We have another starter called this is web dependencies done now. Okay, apart from web dependency, we have actuator dependency. What is actuator? It is used to monitor your Spring Boot application is running or not. Okay, now what I will do first, let me do here actuator dependency. Let me write it. These are all the Spring Boot features actually. Okay, now all default options I'm taking care here. Choose the next here. See, available type web depend. Now which dependencies you want, just type it here. Now just type as a web. See, Spring web dependency. If you check it here, we can build RESTful and MVC applications by using web dependency. Now I want to add as a actuator. Now using this dependency to monitor your Spring Boot application, whether your application is started. See, Spring Boot actuator, built-in built-in custom endpoints are available. Choose this option. Now choose the next option and finish it. This is the how. While creating the project, you can add dependencies into your pom.xml. Now just observe here. Now see here, Spring Boot starter actuator, starter web dependency, starter hyphen test. This is a defaultly added. Now this is the one what we added while creating the project. Okay. Now go to application.java. Okay, it's still downloading the dependencies. Let it download. Okay. Now again, right click on the project, run as Spring Boot application. It is running on 3.2.5. Now, if you observe the logs here, see here, Tomcat is initialization started. Here, if you are able to exposing one endpoint under this path, this is called your actuator dependency to monitor whether by using this. This is very, very important tag slash actuator. See, by default, one actuator is enabled called health. By using this health, we can build, okay, our monitoring system, guys. See, status is equal to up. This is a 200 success. By using this tag, okay, we can able to implement our monitoring dashboard. Let me show you. Maybe at a day one I already explained to you. Just let me show you the part here. See here, This is called dashboard. One represents your application is started, your actuator endpoint status is equal to up. If this is the response you are getting, means this is a monitoring system. Front end dashboard we can create by using Prometheus and Grafana. This is a real time use case. Zero means your application is not running, you have issue in the Spring Boot application. In microservices development, you will able to see this is a kind of dashboard in your application here. This is the real-time use case for your actuator endpoint. Yes, it is providing few more attributes. Later on time will explain, not now, that this is sufficient for the actuator right now here. This is the one point here. Okay, now we discussed about actuator endpoint, we discussed about web dependency and Tomcat. These three things are we done. Data JPA. Before doing that, if you want to communicate to a database, first you need database dependency. Just observe here. Same application, okay. Already actuator is there. Let me create another project. For your understanding, I'm creating multiple projects, guys, granular level, so that you can easily understand here. Now here I'm adding database, okay. To communicating to the database, okay, I need web dependency, I need actuator dependency. Now I need data JPA. This is the dependencies required. Spring data JPA. See, persist data in SQL store with JPA using Spring data and Hibernate. This is the one. Here, which database you want to communicate? You want to communicate to MySQL? You should add as a MySQL driver. Okay, and if you want to connect to a Oracle, then we should add as a Oracle driver. That means database should available into your local system. After installation of MySQL, then only I can communicate it to my MySQL. But Spring Boot is giving one of the feature called database, embedded database here. These databases are lightweight databases, mainly embedded directly into application rather than running as a separate application. That means MySQL is a external application, it's a permanent data store. Oracle is a permanent, Mongo is a permanent, but embedded is when you start your application, database is available. If you stop the application, database is not exist, it's a temporary purpose. It is not for the production rate. For the small scale applications, mobile devices, okay, where you want to do deployment POC kind of applications, then we can go for embedded databases as well. It is commonly supported three databases: H2 is a database, and HSQLDB and Apache Derby. These three are supporting databases here. We are going to demonstrate by using H2 database. It is a well-known database. In most of the use cases, it will be useful as part of our application development also. Okay. Now, if you see here, H2 is a fast in-memory database. It can be used to persist data to a disk. It is widely used for development and testing, not for the production. Okay, now you to get this functionality, we should add this dependency. See the group ID com.h2 database. Now project name is h2 and the scope is a runtime. When you start your application, it will communicate to the database at the runtime activity, not compile time activity. So that's why these scopes also will be a different from dependencies to dependencies also. This is for the h2 database. Now see here how it is working now. Now,
Bhaskar,
yes,
one question. Yeah, this is, scope in under in which dependency?
sorry, which?
Scope.
Okay,
Scope is what is that exactly?
see, the scope can be a Maven scopes. We have compile time scope, test scope, runtime scope. Runtime means when you start your application, it should connect to database. Am I correct or not? Then, yep, this
Yes.
dependency is loaded. When you compile your Java projects, Java classes should be compiled, right? That is kind of a scope equal to compile. Test, when you are writing unit test cases, to run your test cases on the test time, when you building a project, then test scope will be there. Scopes will be a different to different, dependence to dependency. You no
These
need to define.
these are Maven scopes.
Yes, Maven scopes, correct.
Okay, okay. Or dependency scope is also something.
No. Not dependent scope in the sense, this is the one I'm saying.
Okay, same.
Yeah,
Maven.
same.
Okay,
Correct,
okay.
correct. These are all kind of Maven scopes here.
How many are there?
I think 4 to 5 scopes are there.
Okay.
Just you can do some,
Okay.
go through some official documentation. Just to
Okay.
have a look about the Maven.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. So this database will be like a MySQL or Oracle? How this?
It is behave like a SQL. I mean, supporting RDBMS database, but it is a in-memory database.
Okay, so we can use SQL kind of queries in this.
Everything is SQL only.
Okay.
Okay. Now have a look here. Instead of the Oracle here, I'm typing as a H2. See H2 database. See SQL. Are able to see here?
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
provide fast in-memory database that supports JDBC API, reactive database access with a small 2 MB footprint, support embedded and server modes as well as a browser-based application. See here, it is a browser-based console application. H2 is a, you can access in the browser. That's it. Now see here. Now choose the next option and then finish. Okay. Now go to your application.property file. Here to activate your H2, I should use one property called, see here, h2.console enabled. This is the one equal to true. I should make it as a true here. Default H2 console path is /h2 hyphen console. This is the path you can access your H2 database. Okay, now see here. Let me run this. As of now, I don't have any database tables, nothing. Just I want to show the UI, how it look like. Run as Spring Boot application. Just have a look. Now, just observe the logs. Here, see. Hikari, whenever you are adding database, data JPA, Hikari connection pooling is created internally. Okay, and see here, Hikari connection pooling starting added connection are able to see here. This is your database schema name. See, you are able to see here in the bottom, H2 console available at H2 hyphen console. Database is available. This is the one. Are able to see? This is your database schema name here. Copy. Okay. This is your H2 hyphen console. Now go to the browser. Okay. Now here, if you see actuator/health, see you're able to see the application is running. Now inside of the actuator /h2 hyphen console. See, this is the dashboard. Here it will ask you JDBC URL. Always the JDBC URL will generated at runtime. See, it will be generated every time when you start your application. Default username is SA. There is no password. Click on connect. See, this is our database here. You can able to create our tables and everything here from of the application. This is connecting to H2 database. Anyway, as part of database module, we'll discuss about understanding entity classes, repositories, everything. Then in more details, we'll discuss on H2 console later on. This is just how the starter is working, explaining to you. Here the point is, when you add this starter, automatically database schema is created at every time. username is default username. I want to change the functionality. I want to change the schema name. Now, by using these properties, see, data source URL, data source username, data source password, you can customize as well. Driver name is a optional, not mandatory. Now see here, go to your application.property file. Okay, now spring dot data source dot url. Okay, here you should provide these properties, data source dot username. Okay, and spring dot data source dot password. These are here, you can provide any username and password. Just I'm providing admin, I'm providing password as a suppose Divya, just I given like this. Okay, or something. And a url, what is the url is required here, suppose jdbc colon. Now this is schema, see, this is the schema. Now this a prefix is a common here. Now here, schema name, whatever schema name you can keep, suppose as a let me provide as a Manish DB, just I give it. Just I'm using your names, guys, don't think okay, else I will make it as a username and password as admin. Just I'm using our own database name. Okay, now again run the application. Now, how to stop the application? We have an option called here red button. Just click this option. Your application will be stopped. Again, right click, run as Spring Boot application. Just I'm discussing about the features, embedded databases, embedded servers, actuators, starter forms. I'm discussed as guys as of now. Now see here, this time you're able to see H2 console available and database is available under this place. See, now go to your database. Now, if you refresh, again, it will ask you to provide your JDBC URL, username and password, everything. If you click on connect, see, not found. Why? Because my schema name is changed. What is the name I used? Suppose Manish DB I'm using. Username is admin, password is admin. Click on connect. See, I'm able to connect your H2 as well. This H2 is very important play role as part of microservices development. So don't think like it's a small topic, but it will be useful lot in the later on time as well. Okay, now this is H2 console, and here I can say default username is SA and default password nothing, empty here, nothing. This is a default functionality. Now I am overriding those database properties here. Clear now? Connecting to H2 database.
Yes.
Others?
Yes. Bhaskar, here we have not given any configuration for this one, Hikari pool.
That is about auto configuration feature. That is a
Okay.
Spring Boot auto call. Anyway,
But in case of MongoDB,
no, everything MongoDB, Mongo database dependencies you should provide. That's it.
oh, Hikari is not there.
Hikari will be not there. It's a connection pooling, right? Mongo will taken care of a different approach.
Okay.
Okay. This is about our H2. Now actuators, let me give some information about actuators. Actuators are used to provide production ready features. Okay, production ready features means what we have, guys, based on your understanding, any idea? What are the production ready features? If you deploy your application into a suppose your Flipkart is running, users are accessing, what kind of information you should know after deployment? Normal, guys, normal application. Tell me.
Monitoring the application.
Okay, monitoring represents your application is running healthy or not. Okay, next.
Logs and all that.
Logs, centralized log. I want
Yes.
to know more about internals of the application. When I say production ready features, means can I say how much memory it is taking? what is your JVM is behaving, how many threads are creating, okay, what are the environmental variables are loaded, how many objects are created, the till now how many HTTP requests you made, okay, kind of complete metrics about our application. It will be useful about the actuators. It is very very important to play role when we are developing monitoring system dashboard. Now again let me demonstrate you with again another diagram. Are able to see here something? Just
Yes,
observe here.
yes, yes.
See here, this whole statistics given by your actuator. This is one of the important and beautiful feature Spring Boot here. See, application uptime, at what time application is started, how much heap area it is using, non-heap area, memory areas, and in the bottom CPU average time and load average time, JVM stat, lot of things are there by using the actuators here. It's not like a small topic. I mean, small topic in the sense it is providing lot of information about our application here. Okay, now this is the dependency I should add. But when you add this dependency, you are able to access how many endpoints? See here, when I say actuator, you are able to see only one endpoint called health. Okay, my application is shut down. By default, health you are able to see. To get complete features, actuator features, I should enable this property here. See here, star. This is the one I should enable. Then complete actuator information you will get to know. Now let me open the application again. Here, web dot exposure include, see, make it as a star. That's it. Now let me run this application. Let me stop it. Run as Spring Boot application. Auto configuration is not at explain, only I'm concentrating on Spring Boot features. Okay, now if you go to logs, see here, exposing 13 endpoints under this path. This is the path. This is the path. Now go to your refresh. See here, are able to see? If you enable, see, when you start your application, library will create lot of internal objects. If you want to know what are the beans are available, this is the path. Now see here, enter. See here, scope is a singleton. Internally it is creating one JPA properties because we are adding database, data JPA and H2, so it is creating JPA properties internally. And see here, catchy operation invoke advisor. See, these are all completely internals of the application. What are the beans are created here? This is completely a singleton beans here. This is completely about singleton beans it is created. Now again let me refresh. Here, if you integrate any catchy support, now catchy related information, as of now I don't have any catch. If you include any catchy mechanism, you can able to see health, you know, info ignore. And if you are able to see loggers, okay, what is the type of logging level it is there, you can able to see it here. See, logging levels of error, warn, info, debug, and trace. In which package, which logs are enabled, you can able to see here. See, Hikari polling info logs. These info logs only you are able to see. Okay. And again, if you go to heap dump, thread dump, okay, and metrics, this is very, very important here, guys. Metrics. Inside metrics, you are able to see these metrics. See, application ready time, application started time, what is the disk space, Okay, Hikari connections, how many maximum concurrent connections it will take. About this property it will take care. See, Hikari connection pool, let me copy and slash copy paste. See, maximum 10 connections. This is a 10 connections it will take by default here. If you want, you can change it as well. And till now, how many HTTP requests you made? Copy slash refresh. See, till now 7 requests I made. What is the approximate time it took? And what are the endpoints? See, metrics, catchy, loggers, beans, metrics. What is the outcome? Success and 200. Like this, by using these metrics, we can design our monitoring dashboards here. These dashboards we can able to create. This is kind of a monitoring microservices using Grafana and Prometheus dashboard. So this is the importance of this actuator feature. Clear? Real-time use case about actuators?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
That Prometheus and Grafana, it's open source, sir.
Yes, open source. By using Docker, we will implement as part of microservices development.
So what are that? This one production ready feature. What are that?
Till now, whatever we discussed, that is the production ready features.
Okay.
Once you deploy your application, your
Yes.
support team will you will keep on monitoring your application or not.
Yes, yes, yes.
In the big billion day, your memory may increase, CPU utilization may increase, metrics, your JVM will behave in a different kind of activity. Am I correct or not?
Yes,
This
yes,
is
yes.
about production ready features.
Okay.
Clear?
Clear, clear.
Now, tell me, in the runtime, maybe in the production, exposing all these endpoints, it's a security breach. We should not expose all the endpoints. Oh, maybe I want to exclude some features. Suppose if you take mappings, let me take copy. This mappings will display what are the endpoints available throughout your project. All the endpoints will display, or inbuilt endpoints, whatever we have, endpoints will be displayed. If you have a requirement, I want to display in the runtime only few properties. Suppose in the production, I want to display like a health info or mappings or metrics. Suppose I want to display only this information. Remaining I don't want. Here instead of include, just specify which endpoints is required. Like this. Mappings and metrics. That's it. Now this configuration will change. See here, I'm stopping the application. I'm again rerunning the application. Now Jobs, are you able to see how many endpoints? 4 endpoints. How many endpoints I mentioned? 4 here. Now if you go to the browser, refresh, gone. See, health, info, metrics, mappings. These 4 endpoints. Instead of that, I don't want to display only suppose metrics. I don't want to display. Then we have 13 endpoints. Every time mentioning 13 endpoints is difficult or not here. I want to exclude only one. I want to include everything. Only one I don't want. Then they given another option called exclude option. Here you can make it as a suppose metrics I don't want to display. Out of star, it will exclude the metrics. Now see here. Again run the application. Now just verify your refresh. Just observe the count here. You will get some idea. exposing 12 endpoints. Clear? Any questions? Include and exclude. These two properties are useful.
So
In the
generally, we will write in application.properties or application.yml.
YML. Anyway, I will explain later, but it's a starting of sessions, right? If I start immediately YML, people will confuse. So that's why. Suppose I have another endpoint called info. Are you able to see? If you use /info, this endpoint is useful to represent our project related information. What is the project name? What is the version you are using? Some description about your project. To inform that by using this info tag, I can able to display the data. But right now it is empty. Okay. To do, I should enable explicitly this property, guys. Info dot. Okay. There is a env. See, I make it as a true. This is a special endpoint, guys. See here. Tag should start with info. Then you can use any name later. Suppose app dot name. Just I'm giving suppose test project. Okay. Info dot app dot version. Okay. 1.0.0 version. Info dot okay app dot description. Okay. Here you can use suppose Java Express test project. Now info dot suppose you want to use suppose Vijay. Okay. Vijay dot some properties I want to. It's kind of a key comma value. After info, you can use any variable name. Doesn't matter here. Suppose we instead of Vijay, let me make it as a email. Now Java Express channel at the rate gmail.com. Like this. Now info dot just if you want to Sri dot website, just I want to so www.youtube.com/sri dot java express. Just I want to expose some information for this endpoint so that whoever utilizing this service, if they use Actuator, they will know okay information about your project. This is another property. Okay, actuators. Okay, here start it include, but especially it should be enabled means we should do this configuration. Just to see in the latest version how it is behaving. Refresh. Are you able to see now? Information about your application. This is whichever you want, you can add it here. Just for our example, just I added email, Sri website, app information, whatever you want, you can add it here. But the rule is starting with info is the prefix. Info is the prefix here. This is for actuator configuration. This is for your database configuration. Clear now? This is about your Spring Boot features, guys. Starter pumps, embedded servers, embedded databases, and actuators. The most another important topic called auto configuration that tomorrow we'll discuss, and we'll try to set up whatever we pending topics with there. We'll try to complete in tomorrow session. Configuration features. Clear? Then we are good to go for Spring Boot main concepts. Then directly we'll jump into REST API development. Very, very important with the database communication, everything will start immediately. I don't want to delay from the basics much this time. Why? Because we are a lot to discuss on the real-time project, right? What are the prerequisites required to start real-time? Those things will start now from tomorrow onwards. Make sense? Any questions?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So as again, you know very well, this is a contact number, drop a message. So they will get back to you. If your enrollment, try to do today itself. Don't do again morning registrations to avoid meeting details. Okay, last registrations. Try to complete by today, guys. If you have any enrollments are pending. Okay. So any other questions?
Sir, Spring transaction management covering.
No. Transaction is normal transaction. Why? Because distributed transaction is nothing but microservices. At the rate transactional, that is an annotation how when you're including 2 tables, 3 tables, how to handle transaction is, that's fine. But microservices distributed transaction, if you want to know, you should be aware about these design patterns, CQRS and Saga. These are the design patterns. CQRS available in our YouTube already. You can go through. If you know CQRS, then only Saga you will understand. Future we have a planning to have a Saga in our YouTube itself directly. When we post, we'll let you know in our team. Okay. If you want to know about Saga, see here, go to our playlist. Go to our playlist here. And here we have advanced spring security as another batch, full stack, see microservice design patterns. One of the pattern, CQRS design pattern. Then only you are applicable for the Saga. Lot of people thinking without CQRS directly they will jump learning on Saga, but while implementation level that will not helpful. If you perfect in this design pattern CQRS, then Saga is very easy. I mean, whoever asked the question, not only for you, for everyone I am saying, guys. Here, transaction management, basically distributed transaction management. This is clear.
In this, we are not using like ACID properties, not required, not supported.
No, here not. Why? Because default it will taken care that part. When you have 2 tables, then all this concept will come to the picture, right? That is a separate Spring transaction is a separate module, right? But right now we are not taking care that one. Okay. So that's all today's session. And anything? If no, then we can drop off, guys.